When I'm asked a question like that, I have to remind myself that the African American, Caribbean American has been enslaved in this country for far longer than it has been so-called freed. And I think it's very important to look at that. You know, if you go to jail for 10 years, when you come out, how long does it take for you to adapt, to readjust, and for everyone else to readjust to your freedom? So that's one thing that's very important. The other thing is, even though this country is the melting pot, and we might talk about all the other wonderful ethnic groups and cultures that make up our society, it is the African Americans who were enslaved in this country that built this economy. And it was the hundreds of years of free labor that is responsible to the wealth that we all, well, some enjoy. It's 10%. That is another very important factor, because I think of any other group, if we go to the history books, and I used to be a public school teacher, and I remember even of recent how devoid current history books are of the true complex, very layered history of enslavement, which is very complex and very layered. And today, right now, if you look at our history books in the schools, of course there have been changes, there have been advancements. It still does not reflect the true history. So in order to understand American history, American culture, American society, it is vital to understand the African American history. You cannot fully understand America without understanding it, because America was founded on the free labor and the backs of the slaves. So, is black theater, particularly what's going on now? Absolutely. When black people are one of the few people, not necessarily the most economically even repressed or oppressed, but is one of the few people that do not own or control their own culture. When a people do not own and control their own culture, they are not free. There are ethnic groups that are less advanced than black people as a whole in this country, financially less, but they have more control of their culture. So there's a spiritual freedom or enslavement that still exists. So it behooves everyone to understand the African American story.